in St. Louis. Before we talk to Oli Marmol, I wanted to talk to Bob Kendrick. He is the president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, as the Cardinals are just a few weeks away, less than a few weeks, from playing the Giants at Rickwood Field in Birmingham. It is an exciting time for us here at the radio station to be able to bring you that historic broadcast. And joining us to talk about that and more is Bob Kendrick. Bob, how are you doing?
Tom, I'm great, man. It's great to catch up with you, and thanks as always for having me on the show.
It's great to hear your voice. You and I became friends when Kansas City hosted the All-Star Game in 2012. Of course, we had mutual acquaintances that brought us together well before that, but we spent a lot of time with you at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. But before we go any further, I wanted to ask you about the announcement last week that Major League Baseball and what had been years of research has brought the Negro League statistics into that category of all-time leaders. And it made Josh Gibson the all-time leader in hitting and numerous categories, as a matter of fact. How did that make you feel, and what was that from a historical standpoint in the game of baseball?
Well, Tom, I think for any of us who are stewards of the story of the Negro Leagues, there was certainly tremendous pride associated with this particular acknowledgement and accomplishment. And I have to give credit to those historians. I call them a dream team of Negro League historians who took on this challenge, after the Commissioner Rob Manfred made the historic announcement back in December of 2020 that first and foremost, Major League Baseball was at long last going to recognize the Negro Leagues for what we certainly already knew it to be, a major league, and that then they would work to roll the statistics of the Negro Leagues into the record books of Major League Baseball. It took about 3 years to unearth all the necessary data to give the empirical data and get it quantified. And of course, that information was released this past Wednesday, and it's been tremendously well received. Of course, you're always going to have your skeptics, but by and large, it was tremendously well received. It was a milestone moment for Negro Leagues history, I think for baseball history, and in many ways, American history.
Bob, your museum is a history museum. It's a museum of American history, and I want to ask you about that as well. But back to the statistics, my friends and I growing up in St. Louis and playing baseball used to talk about Josh Gibson. We would say, what would it have been like had he competed in the major leagues every year, for that matter? And we're rattling off different players. What would that be like? I think that's a conversation. It's amazing to think that we were having that conversation among kids when we were kids, 30, 40 years ago.
Well, and Tom, you raised a great question, because to me, that as fans of baseball, we were cheated. And it does raise the question, what if all the great stars had played with and against each other before 1947? Because I remind my guests at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum almost every single day, they didn't learn how to play baseball after 1947. They were playing great baseball well before 1947, and mainstream America missed out on some of the most amazing talent to ever put on a baseball uniform, and Josh Gibson was one of those. I mean, to hear the Negro League players talk about competing with and against them, it is with great reverence. Buck O'Neil would describe Josh in this fashion, that he had the eyes of Ted Williams and the power of Babe Ruth rolled into one dynamic package. And all the guys said his outs were loud outs. The third baseman and the shortstop, Tom, were damn near in left field when Gibson came up to the plate, because you're not creeping in on him because you might get killed. And so we missed that, and so it makes you wonder about the possibilities. You could go through your head and put the lineups together to see him and somebody else batting 3 and 4, what that would look like. And I think that's the greatest unanswered question when we look at Negro Leagues history and all those athletes who were denied the opportunity, but instead they created a league of their own.
This is Bob Kendrick, the president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City. It is an absolute must stop when you are in Kansas City. Bob, Birmingham, we are going to be there. The St. Louis Cardinals taking on the San Francisco Giants at historic Rickwood Field. take us to this ballpark and actually just this entire moment of what that will be like and what it means to have the game there.
Yeah, I just got back yesterday from San Francisco where the Giants were doing their African American Heritage Celebration. And I got a chance, Tom, to go in the clubhouse and address the guys particularly and specifically about this game coming up on June 20th. Because I think it was important for me to help them understand this is not just one of 162 games in a very grueling regular season. Both the Cardinals and the Giants will be making history in this game that will be held at Rickwood Field. And for those who may not know, Rickwood Field is the oldest active professional ballpark in the country. It is older than Fenway and older than Wrigley. And it just happens to be where a 17-year-old kid by the name of Willie Mays began his epic baseball career with the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro Leagues. He was patrolling center field at 17. Now, who knew that he would be the prodigy that he would become, and is widely regarded, without question right now, the greatest living major leaguer, and in the eyes and hearts of many, the greatest major leaguer of all time, and he comes out of the Negro Leagues. So that ballpark has so much history. And for Major League Baseball to, number one, go in and renovate it and play a game there, kind of, I guess, Tom, you could call it the Negro Leagues version of that Field of Dreams game that was held in Dyersville for a couple of years. And there was so much sentiment from baseball fans saying, baseball, why don't you do something to honor the Negro Leagues? And Major League Baseball listened, and that's how this game came to be. I can't wait for June 20th. This is going to be another milestone moment for Negro Leagues history.
Bob Kendrick is with us. Bob, you and I shared a great friendship with Lou Brock for many years. I wanted to ask you, before we go here, the significance of the St. Louis Cardinals in terms of that history of integrating, of bringing in a great group of talent and having everybody play together, particularly in the 1960s, that really flourished.
Well, that Cardinal roster of great black stars was tremendously significant. Of course, Tom Alston being the first, but then you get Bill White and you get Lou Brock and you've got Kurt Flood and Bob Gibson, this great legacy of African-American stars. Well, their lineage and their roots were directly there in the Negro League. And that's why Lou and Buck, and obviously Buck signed Lou to his first professional contract. But it was never lost on Lou how important his legacy was as it was tied to the Negro League. And you know this story. When he got traded from the Cubs over to St. Louis, he says the first person that called him was the legendary Cool Papa Bell. And Lou said, I knew who Cool Papa Bell was, but I didn't know that Cool Papa Bell knew who I was. And they set up a meeting, and he says, Cool Papa Bell, who is without question, the greatest base stealer and base runner this sport has ever seen. And he says, Cool started to give him some pointers and tips about base running and base stealing that he said he never heard before. And he said, Cool Papa, I never saw this in the book. Cool Papa said, Lou, it ain't in the book. And of course, Lou goes on to become legendary there in St. Louis, and the relationship that he had with the legendary Cool Papa Bell, who lived and died there in St. Louis, he just became an extension of those players from the Negro Leagues, as all those African-American and Hispanic ball players did.
Absolutely. And Bob, one more, if you wouldn't mind, before we go, is the history of the Negro Leagues here in St. Louis. And just up the road from us, there is an historical marker of a great ballpark right off of Market Street, Bob, right at Harris Stowe State University.
Oh, absolutely. Stars Park. And St. Louis had two Negro League franchises. They had one of their original 8 franchises in the St. Louis Giants that was established with the Negro Leagues in 1920. And then the Giants would then morph into the more popular and well-known St. Louis Stars. And the Stars had some great talent that played for them. Mule Suttles in the National Baseball Hall of Fame, Tom. And believe it or not, folks, he swung a 50-ounce bat. They have that card on file at the Louisville Slugger Museum. And he had a lifetime batting average of well over 300, swinging a 50-ounce bat. And when he came to the plate, the fans would start to yell, "Kick, mule, kick." And then also the great Willie El Diablo Wells. Willie Wells was Ozzie Smith before we ever knew who Ozzie Smith was. The same kind of acrobatic defensive plays, but Willie Wells was a power-hitting shortstop. And I had Oz on my podcast, and I got to tell stories to him about his contemporary, someone that was there in St. Louis years before he became the Wizard. And as you can well imagine, and Oz is a student of this game and of course, a fan of Negro Leagues history and the museum. He was blown away. And so, yes, St. Louis's connection to the Negro Leagues is rich and it is deep.
As is Kansas City's and the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. It is a must stop for sure when you go to Kansas City. Rickwood Field is where the Cardinals will be on June 20th. And Bob, thank you. I could listen to you and tell stories with you all day long, hear your stories for that matter, here on KMOX. Always great to visit with you, Bob. Have a great Sunday.
Tom, thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
Great to hear from Bob Kendrick, the president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, to kick things off here on KMOX. We continue the baseball conversation. We go to Philadelphia, and Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol is with us. It is always a treat. Our visits are sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center, and it is a great time to be a baseball fan. It is a beautiful day here in St. Louis. I hope it's the same in Philadelphia. And Ollie, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I felt like you're ripping off 12 out of 15 before you played this very good Philadelphia team. And you've had some well, the first game was very competitive against the Phillies. They got you a little early in that last one, but I felt not only was it a great run, Ollie, it was very important. I mean, it really hinged a lot on where the course of the season was going, and you have righted the ship. How are you looking at it from that perspective?
Yeah, I mean, we needed that run, quite honestly, to get back to where we're at right now. This Philly team is good, and the first two games have been competitive. The first one more so than the second one, but it's been tough scoring runs over the last 2 days. I mean, you are missing Newt. You are missing Donovan with the neck issue. He's still feeling it this morning. So we may have to stay away from him one more day. But, man, the guys are taking their best shot. This is a good team with a good lineup, with good pitching, with a good bullpen. And the last 2 days have been tough. But going on that run of 12 for 15 got us back to a competitive record, and now we got to keep going.
It did, absolutely. And you don't have Contreras, obviously, who has been out with the fractured arm. I wanted to get right to Mason Wynn because I know that a lot was made of you holding him out for one day, but it's kind of a standard thing, isn't it, that when you have a day off, you try to rotate guys to get a full 48 hours? Am I right about that?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We did it with Nato, especially those guys that play every day. We did it with Nato that last day in Cincy, which bought him the 2 days, and then Mason on the other side of it, of that day off. So yeah, anytime you can give your regulars that extra day into an off day, or before or after it, you try to do it.
And I know that the 18-game hitting streak's a big deal, and it is. But it is certainly about the team moving forward, although I'm sure that was something that ate at you on Friday when you're thinking about, gosh, I'd like to pinch hit Mason here, but it means that he's going to have one shot at this hitting streak.
This is a very simple one.
Yeah.
And I had a really long conversation with Mason before and after. And before the game started, I said, all right, Mason, you have the off day today. If the game's on the line, what do you want to do? He said, 10 out of 10 times, you better put me in there. If that lefty comes in, I want to come in this game. And it just shows you where his mindset is when it comes to us winning is more important than an 18-game hitting streak. The message it sends to that clubhouse of the veterans that are here wanting to win World Series, it sends a message to them as well that, man, I'm here to win. All the individual accolades that's on the side, we're here to be a team. And he wanted that at bat. He gets a base hit, no one's talking about it. But at the end of the day, we don't make the playoffs by game, and we didn't take our best shot. That's not the way we're going to go down.
Yeah, no, I hear you. In fact, I haven't talked to Mason, but if I had asked Mason that question, he'd probably look at me and be like, "What are you talking about? Of course I want, of course I want the at bat. Of course I want to try to get ourselves a win." I mean, that's the kind of player that he is. Actually, he's been that way since he joined the organization, hasn't he? You had your eye on him early on. I mean, he had a great spring training back in 23. It's just the fact was there was really not a spot for him. He had to really work on.
Yeah, and he had a
stuff.
really good spring for us that year. But yeah, this is an extremely competitive kid who's going to put the team first every time. And he was our best shot. It's a one-run ball game. Lefty comes in. He hits really well against righty, lefty, doesn't matter. But he's the best guy for that situation. And after the game, I came up and asked him, "Hey, man, how you feeling?" He said, "If it happened 10 more times, you better put me in 10 more times." So, yes, for those that didn't like it, we're here trying to win.
Yeah, no, I understand. And that's reassuring, I'm sure, for you and for him and for everybody in that clubhouse that everybody's on the same page. I asked Mo this last week when things were rolling. You guys were really rolling, still are. Even with a couple of losses to Philadelphia, it's been a heck of a month of May. But, I asked him, how do you keep everybody on the same page when things are not going well? I mean, he has a job of not only communicating with you and your field staff, but his front office. Of course, he's in touch with players. And his answer to me, Ollie, was, "We've been doing this a long time, and that we've been through a lot of ups and downs. In fact, there will be more." I'm kind of paraphrasing. That's basically what he said. I mean, this is a snapshot of what has been a very long career of experience for John Mozeliak and a lot of people in that group.
And that's the way he handles it, honestly. When things aren't going well, he makes sure that there's a ton of communication within himself and the staff. And if players, he makes himself available to the players as well. But there's always a ton of communication so everybody knows where they stand and kind of how we're going to move forward. And he does a really, really good job of just being consistent and staying calm when things aren't going well, because it's a long season. I was just talking to Arenado about this 2 nights ago, and you live and die off of every win and loss, but you've got to be able to kind of take a step back. And this was him kind of saying it to a couple of guys. He's like, you got to be able to stay even keel even when things aren't going well because of how long the season is, or you'll get worn out. So, Mo does a good job of that. Our staff does a good job of it, and our veteran players are very consistent when it comes to that as well.
Oli Marmol, Cardinals manager, is with us on KMOX. Your bullpen has had a lot of pieces. How about Ludus coming in yesterday? He comes in and throws a scoreless inning. What a long and winding and interesting career he's had to close out that game for you.
Yeah, he's had a very interesting one, and I was glad to be able to get him in. He's been up here for a while now. And the angst just continues to build every game that goes by that you don't get in and touch the baseball. So being able to get him in yesterday was good. And then seeing his reaction afterwards, just walking off the mound and then talking to him once we got back to the hotel, man, it was exciting outing for him. And I'm glad he got that underneath him now.
So moving forward, you have Lance Lynn going tonight. It's a night game, 6:10. And Lynn, your stalwart, he has been one of a few actually in this rotation that's been putting those innings together and giving you an opportunity to win. I have to think you've been very satisfied with what you've seen from Lance.
Absolutely. I mean, extreme competitor who's going to give you everything he's got every time he's out there. He's extremely prepared, and just the way he goes about it, man, it's really, it gets everybody else in that competitive mindset, just the way he takes the mound and competes every pitch. So love having him on the mound, love having him in that clubhouse. He's done a phenomenal job.
And Sonny Gray yesterday gives up 3 runs early. The Cardinals, as you mentioned, just have had some trouble getting some of those runs to get themselves going again. And that certainly could be coming again. I mean, you just never know. You got another game here against a good Philadelphia team. But, I mean, I know we're always talking about the Cardinals. What makes Philadelphia so good? I mean, they're 41-18. Ollie, what do you see from them that has made them so competitive?
that lineup is good. I mean, Turner is hurt right now, but the lineup is deep and they're healthy right now, and they're feeling good about their swings. If you look at their rotation, when you have to face Nola and Suarez and they got Wheeler, I mean, they have a lot of good dudes in that rotation, which makes it hard to score. And then when they go to their pen, when you look up and down their numbers there, I mean, the lefty they brought in to close out yesterday's game probably has the worst numbers in their pen, and he's filthy. So they have some real pieces on the left side and the right side of that bullpen that make it tough to score once that starter's out of the game. So it's really well built.
One more thing before we go, and I'll talk to John Mozeliak in an hour just for Cardinals fans at 11:30 on some other things, injuries and whatnot, housekeeping from Mo as usual. But I wanted to ask you in particular about the Palante performance, because he did mention you in his post-game comments. He said, look, Oli came to me and he said, how do you want to handle this? And you sort of put it in his court and so to speak. And he said that, he does want to start. And as it turned out, I mean, what a tremendous performance by Andre Palante, really. I mean, considering everything that's been going on this season.
I completely agree with you. And that conversation was more so, how do you want to go about this in order to be able to repeat your delivery, repeat pitches, and be more consistent with what you have? And if that means touching the baseball 2 to 3 times a week out of the bullpen, then great. But if it means starting so that you get more repetitions all at once in order to kind of iron it out and be consistent with them, then we can do that as well. And we talked through it, and starting gave him more reps all at once to be able to repeat that 2-seamer that he wanted to get into righties in order to combat righties having a higher OPS against him, because he does a really nice job of being on the ground against left-handers. So he went into the rotation down in AAA, and it gave him the amount of pitches to just, iron it out and feel better about it. We have a need. He comes up, and he did a really nice job against a heavy left-handed lineup in Cincinnati, but he also kept those right-handers in check. I think he only gave 1 hit to a right-hander, but did a phenomenal job in that outing. He'll get the next time through as well.
Good to hear. I appreciate the visit very much. Thanks for spending all this time with us. We're bringing people a 1-2 punch today on baseball right out of the gate on sports on a Sunday morning, and good luck tonight against the Phillies.
I appreciate it.
Great to visit with the Cardinals manager. Our visit with Oliver Marmol is sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Drew, I know we're behind on breaks, but thanks for doing that. 2 guests back-to-back to start our show. Lots of baseball for the fans here for the last 23 minutes. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. We start getting into NASCAR for the back half of this hour, 11 o'clock hour. Lutz Fan and Steel, John Mozeliak. We'll also mention the Battlehawks. Don't you worry. We'll discuss and preview what's to come for them. Big show today on NASCAR Race Day. Back after this.
Baseball season is heating up. With the free Odyssey app, you can get the most entertaining local coverage of your team while you're at work or on the go. Stay locked in and in the know with your favorite hosts as they bring you unfiltered takes, react to the latest team news, and talk to callers. Don't miss any of the action. Stream the shows you love live or on demand with the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today for free.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
I've been thinking.
What have you been thinking about?
Decluttering.
And what did you decide?
I decided I should do it a lot more often.
Well, you definitely called the right number.
I decided I should declutter more often because it's an important part of a balanced and healthy life.
Oh? Tell me more.
We shower regularly to get rid of what we've accumulated.
Yes.
And we cut our hair to get rid of what we've accumulated.
Yes.
And there are other important things we do just to get rid of what we've accumulated.
Have you ever noticed that 1-800-GOT-JUNK has a question mark at the end of it?
Yes, I have noticed that.
We make junk disappear.
All I have to do is point.
All you have to do is point.
Can you come right now?
We're on our way.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. We've negotiated over $5 billion in settlements. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. We've won millions for victims of truck accidents, drunk driving crashes, and workers' compensation. Call Onder Law, 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9, all zeros.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Official partner of the St. Louis Blues.
What keeps you up at night? If it's a new diagnosis or an aging parent or just being home alone, our St. Louis-based ACM Care can help. Their RNs will listen to you, advocate for you, and get you through this. ACM Care is a nonprofit based right here in St. Louis. They've been helping St. Louisans for over 24 years, and they want to help you too. The first call is free. You can reach them at 314-293-0697 or acmcare.org or Google them. ACM Care will get you care.
Hey contractors, it's Andrea and Scott at Best Buy Flooring.
If you haven't been shopping with us, you owe it to your customers and yourself to check out Best Buy Flooring.
We can meet all flooring needs at the lowest prices in town. Check out our huge selection of carpet tiles, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tiles, sheet vinyl, ceramic, hardwood, and laminate.
Come see us at our 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week, including at South County. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Mark Cuban, entrepreneur, businessman, and TV fan. People always come to me for investment advice. So here's a quick tip for you. Stop overpaying for cable and switch to Philo. What's Philo? It's the best way to watch more than 70 of your favorite channels and save big on your monthly bills. You can stream top channels like AMC, A&E, Discovery, Live, and On Demand. Philo's also got a library with thousands of hours of movies and shows just waiting for you. Plus, an unlimited DVR that lets you save all your favorites and rewatch them for up to 1 year. All of this for just $25 a month. You don't need me to tell you that this is a deal you need to make. Philo, now and forever.
Head on over to philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. And start your 7-day free trial now.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. It is race day. It's the Enjoy Illinois 300. What a sports day yesterday. You had the NASCAR Craftsman truck race in which Corey Heim won. You had the Battlehawks playing across the river at the Dome, and they won 13-12 on a challenge to beat San Antonio, take 2 points off the board, and then they're going to host the conference championship next Sunday. And if that goes well, the UFL championship the following Sunday. Then you had Messi taking on St. Louis City SC, scoring a goal against them, but being behind 3-2 before Inter Miami scores, ties the match, and ends up with a point, and St. Louis gets a point. Lutz Pfannenstiel is going to be with us at 11:15 to talk about that. You had the Cardinals and the Phillies, and we just spent a lot of time talking baseball on KMOX. John Mozeliak will be with us at 11:30, and on it goes. And now here comes the NASCAR Cup Series. They'll be racing today at 2:30, green flag at about 2:42 once they turn their laps, and it will be on at Worldwide Technology Raceway. What a great scene it is for racing. Always has been, and now even more so over the last several years with NASCAR Cup coming in, that news that hit in 2021 around when people started murmuring that it could happen. 22, it did happen. Joey Logano won that race. And then here we are with this 2024 edition after Kyle Busch won it last year. He returns as the defending champion.
Well, the last 2 years there was really good. You know, the previous year was really close to being able to win the inaugural race there, was battling back and forth with Joey Logano. Finally, he got the better of us in the 18 car. But then last year being able to get there my first time in a Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet and qualifying up front on the pole, and then having a great shot of being able to run up front all day and pass some of those guys late in the going, and then deal with a couple restarts at the end, was able to set sail and get away. So the car was great, felt really good. And we put that 3 Chiefs Chevrolet in victory lane. It was awesome to have that, a little bit of rain delays a couple times throughout the day. And, the lights were on there at the end, but looked good out front.
Kyle Busch, the defending champion of the Enjoy Illinois 300. He is 10th in the lineup today, getting ready with his number 8 Chevrolet. Kyle Busch, the competitive Kyle Busch, is going to be trying to win this thing again, the Enjoy Illinois 300. The defending champion, the champion from 2 years ago, Joey Logano, he is 12th from Team Penske. The 22 car, the Ford, is 12th. Here's how it lines up. Michael McDowell, the 34 car, he is on the pole. He is driving the Siteman Cancer Center Ford. He is the number 1 spot in the lineup today. Austin Cindric is right alongside him on the front row. Ryan Blaney, watch out for him. He certainly could win this. He is 3rd. Christopher Bell 4th. Tyler Reddick 5th. Denny Hamlin, who's kind of like the villain of everyone out there, he is 6th from Joe Gibbs Racing. Brad Keselowski had a very good qualifying round. He is from RFK Racing and is 7th. Bubba Wallace is 8th. Ty Gibbs 9th. Kyle Busch 10th. William Byron 11th. Joey Logano 12th. Kyle Larson running 13th from Hendrick Motorsports. He currently is the Vegas favorite at 11-2 to win this race at the Enjoy Illinois 300. Alex Bowman 14th. Corey LaJoie 15th. Ross Chastain, who's driving the Busch Light number 1 car from Trackhouse Racing. I had a chance to visit with him yesterday at Anheuser-Busch at the Budweiser Tour Experience, and it was fantastic to spend time with Ross Chastain. What a great young man he is, and not so young and inexperienced anymore. The guy wins. He's won Cup races. He's won truck races. He's won Xfinity races, and he's going to try to win this race. He's won on this track before. He won a truck race here in St. Louis back in 2019. Chastain is running 16th today. He said it's not ideal, but he said we can deal with it. Chase Elliott 17th, Austin Dillon 18th, Martin Truex Jr. 19th. That's just part of the group today as you look at 36 cars in the field today for the Enjoy Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We'll take a break. We'll tell you more about the NASCAR Cup Series, and then we are going to hear from Spike Kohlbecker, who was the Grand Marshal for yesterday's truck race. He'll explain his role yesterday, and he's over at the track now, so we'll get an update from him on what he sees. I can tell you what's happening there right now. Adam Wainwright is on stage right now in the Confluence Music Festival, starting out what is going to be a big day of music. T-Pain at noon, 1:30 pre-race ceremonies, 2:30 start, 2:42 green flag. Riley Green to follow that race with a concert on the infield at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We're back in a moment. We're in St. Louis at KMOX. Tom Ackerman, Sports on a Sunday Morning, sponsored by Gray Bar.
April showers may bring May flowers, but they also bring ants, mosquitoes, and ticks. I'm Amy Markscores for Rottler Pest Solutions. Don't let mosquitoes or ants ruin your party or picnic. Call Rottler today. They're family-owned and operated as they have been since 1956. They have a reputation for personal service, and when you call them, they answer and can dispatch pro technicians to your door the same or next day. Call 877-ROTTLER or Rottler.com. iDoc.com.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Maholtra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
I feel like I should call him.
Why would you call him now? Everything's working beautifully.
Jerry Kelly is St. Louis's favorite heating and cooling company. Mine too. They make me happy and comfortable every day. That deserves a phone call once in a while.
Jerry Kelly's your favorite because they're fast.
They're my favorite because they got it going on.
Nope. They're our favorite because they're good. Since they fixed it, it has stayed fixed.
I still feel like I should call.
Why don't you just visit
JerryKelly.com? If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are two things that you want: certainty and the most money, right? This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Our goal at Neovitin is to make supporting your nutrition as easy as possible. That's why we created the Neovitin monthly subscription. Just go to neovitin.com, choose your multivitamin, sign up, and we will do the rest. You'll receive your Neovitin multivitamin every month with no long-term obligation. You can pause or cancel at any time, and shipping is free. Each Neovitin multivitamin includes our physician-formulated proprietary blend for nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Start supporting your nutrition the easy way with Neovitin multivitamins. Sign up for a Neovitin subscription today at neovitin.com.
Says here that Graybar is a distributor.
Yeah. We support electrical and datacom projects all over the country.
So you can get me the products I need, where and when I need them?
Yeah, thanks to our national logistics network.
Any industry?
Yeah, construction, industrial plants, schools, hospitals.
So you could say Graybar is much more than a distributor.
Yeah, you could say that. When you need a hand powering, connecting, or maintaining your operations, join the thousands of professionals who rely on Graybar to help keep them up and running. Yeah, Graybar does that.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
When you ask people here, what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler? For some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing. It's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Official partner of the St. Louis Blues.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! And call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The KMOX Studios, powered by Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com.
That's GetJim.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. What a beautiful day it is in St. Louis and in Madison, Illinois. And if you were putting it off until the last minute to go to the race, I've got some good news for you. I did not hear that this is an official sellout yet. So there are tickets available for this race. And when you get a ticket to the race, www.raceway.com is where you get them here last second. They are your ticket to the concerts as well. So everything is wrapped into one. The race, the concerts, Adam Wainwright's on stage right now, but there's tons of music throughout the day at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and Riley Green closing things out after the race tonight. So if you have the means to get down to the track, I would highly recommend it. The coverage will begin on FS1 at 1 o'clock if you can't. But I would highly recommend you get over there. I'm going as soon as this show is over. And let's go to someone who is there right now. His name is Spike Kohlbecker. He was the Grand Marshal of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race yesterday, the Toyota 200. And he joins us now on KMOX from over at Worldwide Technology Raceway. How are you, Spike?
I'm good. How are you, Tom?
I am doing great. How was it yesterday?
Man, it was awesome. Just a different experience. I'm used to being behind the race wheel, but it was different to see what it was like behind being the Grand Marshal. So it was a great experience.
I'm seeing your picture inside that Toyota. What was it like to look out and just sort of, I guess, a totally different experience for you, because you were able to kind of gaze at the crowd, gaze at everybody that's out there and what they're doing?
Yeah, just a different experience getting to stand on the start finish there and hopping in a Toyota and riding around the track. That was a great experience, and waving to the fans and then waving back. That's always a lovely feeling. So just an awesome experience.
Spike, you are following your dream of being a driver. You've wanted to, and you've actually been racing, haven't you, since you were, 3-4 years old?
Yes, sir. I've been racing since I was 3 years old. I've been racing for a total of 17 years now.
And what is it like for you now? I mean, you've been out of your Boise State University education, and you went to Chaminade. I got to drop that for our St. Louis folks. You also were part of Kirkwood High School's Launch Online School. So you are St. Louis raised, St. Louis educated, and the plan is to be one of the great drivers that motorsports has.
Yeah, I love representing St. Louis, and over the past couple of years, we've had St. Louis made on the car, and there's actually one of those hashtag STL made in downtown on one of the side of the buildings. So I love representing St. Louis, and St. Louis is my home, and it's always great to come back to Gateway here. I've spent a lot of time here over the past couple of years, so it feels like home for me.
You have raced in a number of circuits. I want to pay close attention to the Indy USF 2000 series. You were the Rookie of the Year in that circuit. What is the plan now moving forward after receiving something like that?
So currently I'm running sports cars, which is a little bit different than the USF 2000, which is on the Road to Indy side. And I'm running in a Toyota GR Cup Series North America. So we run on similar tracks. And I've switched to sports cars now.
Are you 21? Is that right, Spike?
Yes, sir.
So you're a year younger than our man Mason Wynn and Jordan Walker. We're going to have a trio and beyond of young stars in here. but it feels like, I'm sure from your experience, you don't feel like a youngster out there. I mean, having driven since you were 3 years old, as part of who you are.
Yeah, I'd say I'm on the middle side of age here. I started racing cars when I was 14 or 15. So, and you can get drivers all the way up north of 60. So I'm kind of in the middle age right now.
What is it like over there right now? Paint the picture for us of Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Well, we got tons of fans. I actually have my car on display here. I think it's called At the Midway, which is behind the stands. And there's lots of people, lots of displays. I'm actually sitting in the car right now taking this call, which is great. And it's awesome. The atmosphere is lively and people are ready to see some racing.
That's awesome. Are people looking at you kind of funny? Like, hey, where's Spike? Is he going to come out and sign some autographs or what? What's going on here?
Yeah, I think I'll have to later. I'm really looking forward to that.
What would you recommend to parents and to kids listening who want to get into racing? And I know that when we talk about youth sports in this area, Spike, we talk about baseball, soccer, hockey, basketball, whatever the case, but the racing community is strong. And actually, there's a strong youth racing community, isn't there, Spike?
Yeah, in close to St. Louis, we're over at Worldwide Technology Raceway. I did a lot of racing over here in a Margay go-kart, which is actually a St. Louis go-kart based brand. And they run a spec series on a K3 chassis, and it's a 4-cycle chassis, and they run spec races for youth over here. And if I was to suggest somebody get into youth racing, that would be my suggestion.
This is Spike Kohlbecker, St. Louisan, Spike Kohlbecker Racing, where you can learn all about him at SpikeKohlbeckerRacing.com, KOHL BeckerRacing.com. Spike, who do you have today? The Enjoy Illinois 300. Who do you like? Who do you think likes this track?
Well, I think everybody's rooting for Kyle Larson after his great appearance in running in the Indy 500. So I want to see how he does today. I'm not super familiar with all the other names, but I'll be watching closely.
All right, it's good to know. And then from a fan standpoint, let's let people in on those who are, how about this? Those who are making their way to the track right now. We got a lot of people listening to us who are going to make their way into the racetrack or might be parking right now and are there, Spike, for the first time. They've been drawn in, whether it's been by us talking about it on the radio or they've been watching on TV, or their friends said, you got to come with me and experience NASCAR. What are people, first-timers, going to experience today?
Loud cars. I definitely bring some earplugs and some hot weather, so I definitely bring some sunscreen. But I would highly suggest checking out the infield and getting a feel for what the paddock and the pits are like. That's one of the best feelings you can have as a newcomer to racing.
And then finally, as a driver, what is it like to compete? What is it like to get ready for something not only like this, but what you do on a regular basis?
I love to get serious on a race weekend. This is just a different experience for me this weekend, so I can be a little bit more relaxed. But on my race weekends, I love getting focused. I have a great group of supporters that come to the races and support me and watch the races. And but I love to get focused.
Well, I love the fact that you came on KMOX and joined us, Sports on a Sunday Morning. From Kirkwood, it's Spike Kohlbecker. The 21-year-old is a rising star in this business. He is a St. Louis native, and he was the Grand Marshal for yesterday's Toyota 200 in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and he has joined us inside a Toyota as he does this interview before he goes back out to greet the fans. And you can see him in the midway, so walk up to him, tell him you heard him on KMOX. Spike, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great to visit with you. The Enjoy Illinois 300 is coming up. We'll have much more in the 11 o'clock hour on KMOX.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
There is a reason why the signage says Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, because they are the very best. And they have been doing fences, decks, patios, pergolas, and more for, 56 years now, a third generation family owned company. This is Debbie Monterey, and they did my fence. I have a beautiful wood fence from Chesterfield Fence and Deck, but they also do aluminum, vinyl, chain link, gates. They do decks, wood, and Vecca decking, which never needs painting. How about a beautiful sunroom or a 4-season sunroom that you can enjoy all year long, or a screen room? You could even enclose your deck in with screens so the bugs don't get in. There's so many amazing things that Chesterfield Fence and Deck can do for you. And if you mention me, Debbie Monterey, in this month of June, they'll take 20% off your next outdoor project. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck at chesterfieldfence.com. They are the sign you have the very best.
What keeps you up at night? If it's a new diagnosis or an aging parent or just being home alone, our St. Louis-based ACM Care can help. Their RNs will listen to you, advocate for you, and get you through this. ACM Care is a nonprofit based right here in St. Louis. They've been helping St. Louisans for over 24 years, and they want to help you too. The first call is free. You can reach them at 314-293-0697 or acmcare.org, or Google them. ACM Care will get you care.
Hey, it's Bo for Reinhold Electric. I'm going to give you their number to put in your contacts in your phone so you have them when an emergency breaks out. Storms that hit South County on a Sunday this past month, Reinhold Electric took over 50 calls and were able to respond within 24 hours to all of them. So if you have down power lines, flickering lights, things like that, call on Reinhold Electric. And for all planned electrical needs, contact Reinhold Electric. The number 314-631-1158 and ReinholdElectric.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing: help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Monica Ricks. A new CBS News poll shows many Americans are giving Donald Trump a pass despite a conviction that could land him in prison. Deputy Director of Polling, Jennifer DePinto.
While 57% of Americans believe the guilty verdict was the right one, fewer, 38%, think Trump should serve time in prison for this. In fact, most don't think he should.
On the flip side, 94% of Democrats say Trump got a fair trial. Many are now calling for him to drop out of the race. A water emergency in Atlanta as crews work around the clock to restore services to people downtown and in Midtown. Mayor Andre Dickens.
We have declared a state of emergency in the city of Atlanta to allow us to access resources in an expedited fashion.
Corroding pipes burst this weekend, causing massive disruptions there. California firefighters are battling winds now to put a wildfire out that spread more than 12,000 acres in the Bay Area. CBS Sacramento reporter Kayla Moeller.
We were right next to the flames, watching them put out patches of fires. It's very windy, and in the middle of it, you could really hear the wind whistling and howling. That's definitely not helping things. The fire is in a more rural area. A lot of folks are evacuating with trailers full of cattle, horses, and other animals.
At this point, the fire's just 15% contained. Millions are voting today in a historic election in Mexico.
Presidenta. It's almost for sure Mexico will have a presidenta, or female president. Presidenta. Both top candidates are women, trailblazers, but very different. Frontrunner Claudia Sheinbaum favors the socialist policies of current leader AMLO. Xochitl Galvez is a former senator from Mexico's Conservative Party who says Mexico's socialized medicine system is failing. Adrian Bard, CBS News, Mexico City.
Tens of thousands of protesters hit the streets in Tel Aviv last night to urge Israel to agree to a ceasefire deal. Reporter Linda Gradstein.
There were 120,000 people who were protesting against the government and saying that Israel should accept a hostage deal. Several right-wing members of Netanyahu's coalition said that they will bring down the government if Israel accepts this proposal, but several in the center have said they would support the government.
Mission managers could try again as early as Wednesday to get Boeing's Starliner off the ground. A last-minute computer issue forced the attempted launch yesterday to be nixed in Florida. NASA stopped it with just minutes till takeoff. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11:03, we've got sunny skies and 77 downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story this hour, House Speaker Mike Johnson says former President Trump is being seen as a symbol after last week's guilty verdict. We asked our KMOX political analysts a question, a symbol of what?
A symbol of a fighter. He has effectively cast himself as a victim through all of the tribulations.
That's Republican John Hancock. Democrat Michael Kelly says.
To the Democrats, I think he's a symbol of chaos, turmoil, and he's emblematic of what the injustice that so many people in the country feel, that the rules are different for folks like Donald Trump at the top.
Kelly says President Biden is focusing his campaign on the issues while Trump's airing his personal grievances. Hancock points out that Republicans are voters that historically come home on Election Day. Homicide detectives are investigating after 3 men were shot in South St. Louis. It happened at the intersection of 4th and Gratiot last night about 8 o'clock. The first man was shot multiple times. He's not expected to survive. Second man undergoing surgery, listed in critical condition, and a third was wounded in the leg. St. Louis County Police say an innocent bystander was shot last night in Jennings. Gunfire broke out during an altercation. This happened around 7:30 in the 9100 block of Halls Ferry. The victim is expected to survive. If you know anything about the shooting, St. Louis County Police are asking for help. It'll be hard to top the enthusiasm shown by fans during Saturday's game at the Dome, but that chance will come next weekend.
Following the Battlehawks' 13-12 win over the San Antonio Brahmas, head coach Anthony Becht issued a challenge for the conference title game, topped the 34,379 that brought the loudness on Saturday.
St. Louis fans, anybody that lives in the city of St. Louis needs to show up for this game, okay, next week, and hopefully the week after that. But let's start with the next week's game. Just incredibly blessed to have a fan base that cares as much as the St. Louis fan base does.
Tickets for the June 9th night game are on sale Monday morning at 10 through Ticketmaster. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
Nice afternoon for the races. 86 degrees, clouds and sun mix, overnight 70. Tomorrow, a couple of showers, maybe a heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon, a high of 90. And about the same on Tuesday, 87 with a thunderstorm in spots. Right now, it is 77 in St. Peters and in Florissant and downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Yeah, it's easy for me to explain. People want to know how big NASCAR is. I say, okay, you love college football, right? The big house, we brag that the big house up there in Michigan, oh my God, it seats 100,000 people. Well, we do that every weekend.
That's Kenny Wallace joining me on KMOX this past week. It is that kind of scene at Worldwide Technology Raceway today. And there are still a few tickets available here and there for the Enjoy Illinois 300, and every seat is a great one. Every ticket is a concert ticket as well. A beautiful day, and fans are making their way to Madison, Illinois, just 5 minutes from the Arch. Adam Wainwright on stage in the Confluence Music Festival beginning at 10:30, so he is wrapping up his set. Kenny Wallace was out there earlier today at 9:30. They had a crowd out there yesterday for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the Toyota 200. They had pro wrestling out there in the Midway, Drew. It was nuts yesterday. I was out there at the track, all kinds of stuff going on out there, qualifying for the Cup as well, and that's where we are today. The NASCAR Cup Series, the biggest circuit in American motorsports, is here in St. Louis right now, and this is the starting lineup, at least the first half of it for you as we get ready. Michael McDowell is on the front row. He is from Front Row Motorsports. Appropriate. McDowell in the number 34 car, the Ford, the Siteman Cancer Center Ford, won the pole yesterday with a record-setting performance. He had a tremendous day, McDowell did. He claimed his third pole of the season, final round qualifying of 138.598 miles per hour. He set the track record in the opening round of qualifying at 139.241 miles per hour, breaking the former mark set by Chase Briscoe 2 years ago. Front Row Motorsports, and a great turn by Michael McDowell. He has the pole for the Enjoy Illinois 300. It's the first time this season that Hendrick Motorsports didn't place a driver in the final round of qualifying. The top Hendrick driver was William Byron. He will start 11th. Kyle Larson, who is the biggest name in motorsports, I would say right now, he ran in the Indianapolis 500 last weekend. He is here in St. Louis, Madison, Illinois, the Enjoy Illinois 300. He is 13th in that lineup. More on that lineup. So Michael McDowell is on the front row. Joining him is Austin Cindric, the Team Penske driver, driving the number 2 Ford. Ryan Blaney, he's very good, the number 12 Ford. He's also a Penske driver. Christopher Bell from Joe Gibbs Racing is in the number 4 spot. Tyler Reddick, 5th. Denny Hamlin, 6th. Brad Keselowski, 7th. Bubba Wallace, a big name in motorsports without a doubt. He is driving the number 23 car. He is 8th in the order. I don't know that Michael Jordan is going to be here, but he is one of the owners of that car. Ty Gibbs is there. Joe Gibbs Racing's Ty Gibbs is 9th. Kyle Busch, the defending champion of this race, 10th. William Byron, 11th. Joey Logano, who won the inaugural race, 12th. Larson, 13th. Alex Bowman, 14th. Corey LaJoie, 15th. Ross Chastain, watch for him now. He likes this track a lot. He won here in the trucks race several years ago. He drives the Busch Light car, the number 1 car from Trackhouse Racing. He lines up 16th. Don't look past him or Chase Elliott for that matter. Elliott is 17th and Austin Dillon is 18th. That's the front half of the field. 36 cars ready to go for the Enjoy Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway this afternoon. It's a 2:30 start, but let me give you an idea of what's happening over there in terms of timeline. So they've opened up, and they did a long time ago, the parking lot and the gates, but don't let that deter you if you are looking to get a ticket last minute or just looking to go over there and party, because there are tailgaters everywhere and there's plenty of space for everyone. There are campers. There are great big areas to park. Still, the general parking lot has some space, no question about it, and it's easy to get to the track from there. It all happens today with Adam Wainwright on stage, and then Big and Rich and Gretchen Wilson with Cowboy Troy also playing in the Confluence Music Festival. And then at noon, T-Pain. So he's about 50 minutes away from taking the stage, 12 to 1. They'll have a bit of downtime before the pre-race festivities at 1:30. They have driver introductions at 1:55. In between there, if you can get a fan zone pass, And that's the one that gets you in the infield by the garages. You can stand right, just a little tip from me, you can stand right along the red carpet when the drivers leave their meeting and then walk to the pre-race introductions. It's a very cool thing. Some of them will even stop and sign some autographs, but they will walk along the red carpet. So make sure you identify where that is. And to me, that's one of the best things they do in this whole thing, is that you can actually stand right there as the drivers walk by in their suits, ready to go to their cars. Then they'll introduce the drivers. They'll get in their cars. They'll start to turn their warm-up laps after the anthem and flyover. And at 2:30, they'll start around the track. About 2:42 is what I understand, the green flag. And then 5 minutes after the checkered flag, they'll have a victory lane celebration. The infield fan experience is a huge part of that. They'll have a track walk and concert. The crossover gates will be open for all ticket holders. Brittany Spencer will perform, and Riley Green, that concert is 30 minutes after the checkered flag. It's a long and fun day over at Worldwide Technology Raceway today, and KMOX is happy to be part of that. We have Cardinal baseball tonight at 6:10, the Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. Last hour, we spent a lot of time with Oli Marmol, the Cardinals manager. Before that, we talked to Bob Kendrick, the president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. You can hear those interviews on our podcast page once the show is over. You can listen to them right now on the Odyssey app if you don't have time to wait. You can just go right back to 10:05, 10:06 when we started the show. John Mozeliak, president of baseball operations, will join us at 11:30. At 11:45, we'll discuss that great win for the Battlehawks, 13-12 at the Dome last night, beating San Antonio, and now with home field, Dome field advantage for the conference championship on Sunday night. And the following Sunday, they already have that game being played at the Dome in the UFL Championship, regardless of who's in it. But, of course, the Battlehawks want to be in that thing. We'll discuss all of that at the tail end of the show. What a game last night in Fort Lauderdale. City and Inter Miami, featuring Lionel Messi, played to a 3-3 draw. We will break it down with Lutz Vandensteel, the sporting director for City, right after this on KMOX's Sports on a Sunday morning, sponsored by Gray Bar.
When you ask people here what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler, for some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing, it's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Official partner of the St. Louis Blues.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
I've been thinking.
What have you been thinking about?
Decluttering.
And what did you decide?
I decided I should do it a lot more often.
Well, you definitely called the right number.
I decided I should declutter more often because it's an important part of a balanced and healthy life.
Oh? Tell me more.
We shower regularly to get rid of what we've accumulated.
Yes.
And we cut our hair to get rid of what we've accumulated.
Yes.
And there are other important things we do just to get rid of what we've accumulated.
Have you ever noticed that 1-800-GOT-JUNK has a question mark at the end of it?
Yes, I have noticed that.
We make junk disappear.
All I have to do is point.
All you have to do is point.
Can you come right now?
We're on our way.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed, something that gets you all fired up or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Scott, I have a new word, floor-nancing.
What are you saying, flooring or financing?
Actually, both, because at Best Buy Flooring, we have the largest selection of carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic tile, laminate, and hardwood.
Yes, and free financing for qualified buyers.
3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and O'Fallon, Illinois.
Open 7 days a week, including at South County. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Left side, Aldo Refini. Messi fires a shot, and this thing is in the back of the net. Inside shell, Quirky got a piece, but it does find the netting. 1-1 in Miami.
Lionel Messi scored his 12th goal of the season in his last Major League Soccer match before the Copa America, and that got the crowd excited. The problem for Inter Miami was St. Louis City SC. They came to play. The call on Y98 FM.
Chima through ball. Vasilev stepping over the ball in the area, fires a shot, and this thing is in the back. Indy Vasilev, City lead.
Indiana Vasilev, former Inter Miami player, he scored in the first half, a 2-1 lead. It went back and forth in this match, and it ended up being a 3-3 draw between City and Inter Miami. And joining us is the sporting director for City, always kind enough to join us on these Sunday mornings, Lutz Pfannenstiel. Thank you very much for being with us.
Good morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let me ask you if this is accurate. The way I described it this morning when I talked about this match was a tremendous point achieved by City against a very good team, but don't tell them that because they are probably frustrated after losing an opportunity to gain 3 points, a 3-3 match. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you explained it pretty well. I would say bittersweet. You're leading 3 times. You play a decent game against definitely at the moment the most exciting attacking team in the MLS. And yeah, you make little mistakes and they punish you. That's the quality they do have. But then again, if you would have spoken on Friday or on Saturday before the game, picking a point away on the road against the top team in the United States at the moment, I think we would have been happy about it. Now looking at these 90-95 minutes, yeah, I think we should have won it because we had plenty of attacks and plenty of counter chances, big chances to finish the game, and it was 3-2. And then there was this one little moment again where we let it slip. And yeah, it's a tough one, but great experience though for all the boys.
Absolutely. And facing the best player in the world in Lionel Messi, how do you think that you played against him specifically? Did he have any issues against your team?
Yeah, I think we kept him pretty quiet, but having said that, keeping Messi quiet still means that he scores a goal, have an assist, and makes Roman Bürki work really, really hard. So, yeah, the quality he has is unbelievable. You can't really mark him out completely from the game. But listen, we are St. Louis City SC, and the German national team, the French national team, and whoever you ask, they also couldn't mark him out completely of the game in the past. So it's nothing, I think, to be ashamed of if Messi gives you a bit of a headache. His Barcelona buddies, they're pretty old, but they're pretty good. And that whole team is definitely a joy to watch. But I think we had the right medicine for them. We gave them a hard run. We worked hard. I think we had a good match plan to make life difficult. And scoring 3 goals on the road, getting a point there, I think we can live with that.
Absolutely. This is Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director, St. Louis City SC. I love the word experience because that's what you're trying to gain throughout this whole time, this whole experience, starting way back from when you built this team. I think one of the things, and I'm just looking ahead here, is trying to teach your team how to be great towards the end of this year and knowing that you're in for the long haul. Is that right? Just kind of getting your bodies to where they need to be once you guys hit the fall and get yourselves in playoff contention.
Yeah, but at the same team means we have to be very cautious not to leave too much lying there at the moment. We had games in the recent weeks where we were the better team and we lost, where we played against teams which were beatable and we didn't get the 3 points, and that's the points we are missing now. So we need to look with caution, of course, at the table as well. Everything is very tight. We have 2 games in hand, so it's not like that we are in trouble, but we do need to win our home games. And there is a big one coming up against Portland, which is basically just around us. And that's the games who count. It's great to get a bonus point in Miami, and it's also, as we said, a great experience to play against Messi. But let's be honest, tomorrow morning or on Tuesday morning when you're back on the training field, it doesn't count anymore, Tom. That's it. It's in the past. And we need to look forward to Portland and Phil Neville and his team, and forget about a beautiful 90 minutes in Miami. So that's the truth, that's the facts, and we need to keep on going.
Sure, and you don't want to repeat that. You want to be able to get those points when you can. Roman Bürki, your goalkeeper, said something yesterday that he wants his team to be aware that the quality is getting better and better in this league. That's a good reminder, too, yesterday, of what you saw there, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Looking how tight the league is this year, apart from 1-2 teams are dropping off, everybody can beat anybody. And that's also, we are at the moment number 11 in the West. We're going to the top team in the East, and we play good enough to actually get 3 points and get 1. So it just shows it's very open. It's very tight, And yeah, like last year, we would have won a game like that. This is also one of the things we need to face. Last year, all the 50-50 games, we scored a goal when this year it would hit the post or the goalkeeper will make the save. But it's just then again, you need to believe in what you do. We only played a certain number of games. We still have a lot of games to play for. And as you said, the summer and the fall will be very important. And of course, I also would prefer that we hit the top form towards the end of the regular season. But then we also have to make sure now that the gap doesn't become too big.
What can you tell us about Rasmus Alm, your midfielder? That looked like a tough injury.
Yeah, I went down into the changing room actually directly when he went in there before halftime to look how he felt. There was a decent motion, so we don't know the exact diagnosis yet. It's not. I don't think it's as bad as it looked like, because it looked terrible if you looked at it on TV, especially in the replay. But I think we also need to be aware that he will be out for a certain time. I can't give you any details yet because I really don't know yet. We will figure that out in the next few hours when he does his MRIs and all his final diagnosis. But yeah, I think it's not as bad as it looked like, but it's also not great.
Well, I appreciate the update, and I know that it's very early still. And the other thing is Thomas Ostrak. I haven't talked to you since then. That was tough news to take as well, having him out for the season. I feel bad for him because he had worked so hard to get back.
Yeah, I think, I think there is only like 3 words. Actually, the 2, it sucks for him. It sucks for us as well. Because he really hit that top form. He played an unbelievable season so far. Such a hardworking player. A little bit the unsung hero who does all the running and all the trekking. And just when you thought, like, when you brought him in, he hit that performance now we really wanted him to hit. Then he get that injury in training, and season-ending injury. Of course, it's very tough for him, but also tough for us because it's hard to compensate, especially with the roster rules and with the replacement rules here. It's sometimes when you do have a pocket full of injuries, it's tough to recover. Like on the good note is though that we saw Edu Löwen back on the field yesterday for 80 minutes, and it's just it's these moments last week coming on have an impact. This week starting having an impact, and that makes us feel very positive. That obviously now with Edu being back, we won't feel the injury of Thomas Ostrak that long and that hard, but it's definitely a blow for us to lose Ostrak for the rest of the year.
Well, it's a good positive to end on when it comes to Leuven, and you do take on Portland this coming Saturday at 7:30 at City Park, St. Louis City against Portland. Be there for sure. Try to get in there. It is a great venue, no doubt about it. One of the crown jewels of Major League Soccer, City Park here in downtown St. Louis. Lutz, thanks so much as always for doing this. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. Have a nice Sunday.
You too. Sporting Director, St. Louis City SC, Lutz Pfanenstiel. Always great to join us on these Sunday mornings. It is NASCAR Cup race day, I should say. Game day for the Cardinals as they play at 6:10 tonight. John Mozeliak is up next on KMOX.
Are you tired of those unwanted, stubborn areas of fat? Do you want to lose up to 2 inches of that fat quickly and safely? Hi, this is Dr. Michael Glickert at St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and we offer the latest breakthrough treatment in fat reduction without surgery through our incredible Lumara body contouring program that gently melts fat naturally, eliminating it from your body. If you want to lose inches on your thighs, arms, waist, stomach, or back, take advantage of our limited time offer of just $69 for your first treatment, which is valued at $300. You heard that right. Just $69 for your first treatment. Visit us online at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I admit I was skeptical about body contouring at St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, but I figured, what do I have to lose except apparently inches, because they already helped me lose 40 pounds, and then they took before and after pictures while I was doing body contouring. I did 8 treatments, and you could totally see the difference. So take advantage of this limited time offer, just $69 for your first body contouring treatment, regularly $300, by calling 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9-MILLION.
Out on the field, Jerry Kelly was never one to guarantee a win, but the company he retired to build guarantees a home run every time you call.
Thank you for choosing Jerry Kelly.
Open 8 to 8, 8 full days a week. Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning also guarantees next day service. Need new equipment installed? Little maintenance to get your system purring again? We'll be there within a day of your call. No ifs, ands, excuses, or getting scradoodled. Guaranteed.
JerryKelly.com. Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jules on Hampton.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
On this NASCAR race day, Worldwide Technology Raceway, we are 3 hours away from the start of the race, the Enjoy Illinois 300. Adam Wainwright just finishing his set on stage in the Confluence Music Festival, and one of his great friends joins us on the line now, and that is Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak. Good morning, Mo. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Good morning to you. The Cardinals in Philadelphia and trying to capture the third game of this series after losing the first two. You can't talk about the Cardinals without talking about going 12-3 over 15 games. But I do want to first ask you about this series and what you've observed so far in these two losses.
Yeah, I think like when I look back at Friday night, obviously we had some opportunities, but really couldn't punch through. Obviously the home run to Sosa was a big blow, and we fought back, but never got to the point where we could get the win. I think last night was one of those classic games when you give up those early runs, and then you kind of throw it over to where their starter gets knocked out early because of an injury. The lineup was set up for lefty versus, now having to face right-handers. It just got to a point where just felt like we were always going uphill, and that's tough. But look, Phillies are playing about as well as you can right now, and so hoping that we can get a game today would be great. But in the end, Cardinals are playing better baseball, and that's encouraging.
You are playing better. They are a great team. They're the first team in Major League Baseball to 40 wins. And they'll go up against Lance Lynn tonight. He won't give an inch against them. He'll be all revved up for this Sunday night game. Your team offensively just seems to struggle right now against a very good Phillies team, but you've also been missing some people, quite honestly. Lars Nootbaar being out doesn't help you. And now Brendan Donovan. I talked to Oli last hour. He indicated that they're probably going to give Donnie another day. His neck is still bothering him, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. And I mean, this is the hardest part of when you're kind of behind the scenes running a baseball team versus when you're just a fan, because it's like, just play them, But you got to remind yourself it's a 162 game season. And yes, you'd love to have them in there, but you don't want to do it at the price of maybe losing them for a month. So sometimes it requires patience. Sometimes it requires perhaps making decisions that aren't the most popular, but our goal is to try to get through the 162 the best way we can and try to optimize our chances of winning by trying to throw out the healthiest and freshest players we possibly can.
And keeping your players fresh. And that brings up Mason Wynn, who did not play on Friday. You get that 48-hour window for him to rest. This is a thing, I talked to Oli about that last hour too, that you're trying to do for everybody for the long haul. But at the same time, he did tell me, look, Mason made it very clear to me that he wanted that at bat late Friday, hit streak or not. I mean, he's trying to win the ball game. He said, you better put me in there against the lefty. Was that your understanding? It doesn't surprise me actually from Mason whatsoever.
No, I'd be shocked if it was the other way.
Mm-hmm.
He's a competitive guy. And look, I think it's tough when individuals are chasing things or creating milestones for themselves, but in the end, it's still a team game. And, we represent that name on the front of the jersey, most importantly. And so guys have to do things that sometimes it's not the most popular decision, but again, if everybody that questions it wants to manage someday, just, apply with me and I'll let you let you know how hard it is. It's tough.
Tony La Russa used to say that to me all the time. He'd look at me, put those glasses down, and he'd say, "I'd like to manage against you someday." That was always his line. I always enjoyed it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ryan Ludus, what a story. Tell me about the first time you ran across Ryan Ludus, who was a Wash U alum who actually had interest in being in the front office. He found himself on the mound last night against the Phillies.
Yeah, so when I first learned about Ryan, it was from Matt Baer, who works in our baseball development group, but has a strong connection to the amateur draft. And he's a Wash U grad. And so obviously he follows Wash U pretty closely, especially the baseball team. And, Ryan was someone that, was having a nice career at Wash U. And remind yourself it's a Division III school, but, it was still, he was putting up respectable numbers. Then, of course, we signed him. He then is in our system. And then that following year, he ended up adding some velocity. And he was doing some part-time work for us in our baseball dev group, which was, shows you his intellectual horsepower. But then he actually added physical horsepower. And all of a sudden, we start to realize, like, he had a chance to pitch in the big leagues versus probably at a quicker rate than actually coming to work for us in our front office. So guy has a great career ahead of him, whatever he does, but certainly a really cool story and happy for him.
Yeah, and first Wash U player to appear in the major leagues in, I believe, 50 years, almost 50 years. So scoreless inning pitched by Ryan Ludus, really neat story. Your bullpen has a lot of horsepower. You certainly could use Keenan Middleton, but again, here we are with a health issue. What is your understanding of what Keenan is going through right now?
He pitched that back-to-back outing down in Springfield, then reported soreness again. So, right now I think we're just trying to figure out what's the next step. I think the next 48 hours will be telltale for that. And then, we'll determine what that path looks like. But, it's not great news to be in a rehab and then to get pulled off of it. So we'll just have to see what all the doctors say. And once that decision or plan is in place, we'll share it with everyone.
And then to go backwards a little bit, this 12-3 run that I mentioned at the start of this interview, winning 12 of 15 has to be talked about. I mean, it actually, not only was it really good, but it was an absolute must, wasn't it, Mo? I mean, you had to get off to a great start on that homestand and beyond.
Yeah, again, I feel like the biggest thing, and you and I've talked about this for weeks, is if we don't hit, it's just going to be very difficult to compete. So, and you look back over the last couple of weeks, our offense has been much more productive. It's been much more of what we envisioned it would look like. You pointed out that we keep dealing with injuries. Obviously, now having Newt Barr on the IL is not great news, but maybe it's something like Dylan Carlson can take advantage of those lost at bats now. But overall, I feel like if the offense can remain close to what we saw over the last couple of weeks, it's going to be a fun summer, and it's going to be a summer where we're competing for our division.
A couple of quick things before we go. What is the next step for Carlson and his development as a player? Because we know you've seen him for quite a while now, and he could be, that's right, I mean, a real impact for you.
I think the biggest thing for him is, and I understand the frustration of having a really good camp and getting injured on one of the final days of the exhibition season, and then, really trying to get back as soon as possible, but then, trying to also get your timing back. I think everybody will agree. Hitting at the major league level is not easy, and I still think he's searching a little bit, and part of that's just because he's not playing consistently. And Oli in his position has to go with the guys that are hot right now. We're trying to figure out lineups that give us the best chance to win, and I certainly have empathy for that. So, in Dylan's case, he's just got to take advantage of every opportunity he gets in playing time, and that doesn't mean he's got to go 4 for 4. but he's going to have to start seeing incremental positive steps because obviously it's a crowded outfield. We still have Jordan Walker down at Memphis, obviously trying to get himself back to the big leagues as well. So, right now he has a unique window with Newt on the IL, and we'll see what he does with it.
And then finally, this fifth starter situation that I believe you were actually the first person to tell us that Andre Palante could very well be in line for that. Not only did he give you a start, I mean, he tried to replicate Sonny Gray out there. That was phenomenal. Can he continue to do that for you? Do you think his arm is it ready to go for multiple starts there?
Well, I think the good news here is, one, is that was an outstanding outing by him. Two, we didn't go into that outing with those types of expectations. So, I think if he can get us through one time through the order, two times through the order, that's just even better. And so do I think he's built up to do that? Yes. Obviously, when he was down at Memphis, he was up to 85 pitches in the game. So he's basically, his runway is cleared to go. But now let's just see if he can remain consistent, make sure he can pound that strike zone. If he does that, I think he's a guy that can keep us in games and give us a chance to win.
All throughout Major League Baseball today, players, managers, coaches, and umpires will wear a special 4 decal on their uniforms designed in Yankee uniform color and font to honor Lou Gehrig and acknowledge 2024 as the 4th Lou Gehrig Day. We wish John Mozeliak and the Cardinals the very best tonight as they take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Thanks as always for being with us, Mo.
Thank you. Be well.
You too. It is 11:42 on the home of the Cardinals, KMOX. We have been covering NASCAR since they first started talking about the Cup being run at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and we are ever closer to the start of this third race, the Enjoy Illinois 300. When we come back, we'll look back into it for those of you making your way into the track in Madison, Illinois. We'll also look at what happened last night at the Dome. It was a crazy day of sports, wasn't it, yesterday? The Battlehawks won it. How did they pull that off against San Antonio? We will tell you and get you excited for what is the first home playoff game in St. Louis football in over 20 years. Back after this.
When you ask people here, what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler? For some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing. It's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Official partner of the St. Louis Blues.
The KMOX Studios, powered by Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com.
That's GetJim.com.
What do Donna Vogt, Janet Williams, Susan Honor, and Jonathan Hurst have in common? They're just some of the best fans in baseball and winners of a pair of tickets to an upcoming game at $100 to Rawlings. Want to get in on the winning? To get entered, head to KMOX.com/contests and upload a photo of you decked out in your game day attire. The best fans in baseball, presented by KMOX and Rawlings, the mark of a pro.
You see what's happening in Congress. Everyone's a showman. Big talk, same old politics. Democrat Wesley Bell is running for Congress to get things done for us. For Wesley Bell, it's about solving problems, not making them worse. It's about doing things, not pointing fingers. It's about taking a stand to deliver change, not just yelling about it. For Wesley Bell, that means working with President Biden to deliver for St. Louis. Bell will take on the big drug companies and insurance companies to lower costs for families. He'll protect voting rights from the right wing trying to take away our voice and vote. And Bell will bring his prosecutor smarts to Washington to effectively fight for gun laws to protect our kids and our communities from violence. In Congress, Wesley Bell will do what he's always done. Stand with us, fight for us, deliver for us. United Democracy Project paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.udp.us.
What keeps you up at night? If it's a new diagnosis or an aging parent or just being home alone, our St. Louis-based ACM Care can help. Their RNs will listen to you, advocate for you, and get you through this. ACM Care is a nonprofit based right here in St. Louis. They've been helping St. Louisans for over 24 years, and they want to help you too. The first call is free. You can reach them at 314-293-0697 or acmcare.org or Google them. ACM Care will get you care.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-514-1026. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-514-1026 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
We do that every weekend. We do that every weekend, anywhere between 60 and 100,000 people. And look no further now. TV's a big thing too now, Tom, and radio, whether it's, KMOX or Sirius XM or, everything that NASCAR gets televised, telecasted, streamed. But just, like on Channel 2, Fox TV, we're getting over 4 million people. Stop and think about that. 4 million people are watching these NASCAR races. Now, and I admit there was a time, the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr. really sent our sport, spiraling downward. We lost our hero. No different than Tiger Woods not being at a golf tournament or Michael Jordan. We got some superstars in all sports that really make people tune in. And NASCAR went through a tough time there. We had a lot of things going on that were, against the sport. But now, I gave you all the bad news to prepare you for the good news. And now, man, we have got the most incredible finishes. They built this new race car called the Next Gen. And this is probably the most exciting year in NASCAR since the Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jeff Gordon days. And the reason is because we've had 3 finishes. We had the closest finish in NASCAR history. It was a tie. They digitally, they're 0.1. Well, that's a discrepancy. So they had to go to the photo finish. That was about 3 weeks ago at Kansas City. Then we had 3 white finish at the checkered flag at Atlanta. Then we had Tyler Reddick slam into Chris Buescher, and they both flattened their tires. And Brad Keselowski won. So we have seen a lot here lately, and I think we're good. I don't think we're lucky because NASCAR's been working very hard, and they are back. These races are incredible.
That is Kenny Wallace speaking with me on KMOX. He is fired up about today, the Enjoy Illinois 300. I know a lot of people, just listen to those words, listen to the passion and the enormity that is NASCAR Cup. We do not take this lightly. This is like having an NFL playoff game in St. Louis every single year. Speaking of that now, the playoffs in St. Louis, you'd have to go back to 2004, the last time that a St. Louis football team hosted a playoff game. That was the 2003 regular season, an excellent season for the St. Louis Rams. They won the Super Bowl in 99. They had a ferocious offense and not a good defense in 2000, and they kind of went out with a whimper. Then they came roaring back in 01. They were the 2-touchdown favorite in the Super Bowl and lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots for Brady's first Super Bowl. Then things slipped in 2002, just a gut punch of a loss in the Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. And people wondered, can they get it back? Did they ever in 2003? They were awesome in 2003 with Mark Bulger at quarterback, but they lost a gut-wrenching game in overtime to the Carolina Panthers. And Steve Smith flying down the field and winning that game, that playoff game at the Dome, is the last time that we hosted a playoff game at the Dome until this coming Sunday at 6 o'clock. I went to a Battlehawks game recently. I didn't go last night. These fans are incredible, and it gives me chills actually to talk about them and to be there with them. But they are great sports fans. They are my kind of people. They are drinking beer. They are high-fiving. They are dressing up. They are ranting and raving. They are making noise. They are passionate. They let everything go. Whatever's happening in their life, that very moment, that sporting event, the St. Louis Battlehawks, is their party. And this scene on Sunday when they take on San Antonio is going to be incredible. So get ready for that, number one. And that will be on Fox, too. That's going to be on national TV on Fox. But don't let them win that game. Because if they win that game, they will be hosting the UFL Championship at the Dome on Father's Day, the 16th. And I do believe that is going to be, if they can beat San Antonio, and they beat them last night, I'm going to tell you in a second how they pulled that off. That would be a moment for St. Louis. I think that they will come close to selling out, if not sell out the building. And it'll be a message to everybody, especially out on the West Coast, but to everybody, that St. Louis was deserving of professional football, is still deserving of professional football, but mostly that this is a very passionate sports town. We take our sports seriously, but we take ourselves not that seriously. We just go have fun. It's a party town. That's what we are. And the St. Louis Battlehawks are representative of that. Now, as for the players themselves and what they accomplished yesterday in a hard-fought game against a good San Antonio team, they could not lose that game. If they lost that game, they'd have to play that conference championship at San Antonio. And the Alamo Dome is not bad. I mean, they've got some football fans down there, too. And they would have made plenty of noise that would have been very difficult for the Battlehawks to win and try to come back home to play a UFL championship. But they did win it. And they won it because of this, Drew. Play it.
They keep it. Underneath. It is no ruling yet. They say he caught it but didn't get in the end zone. So the 2-point conversion fails. Kirkland made the catch. Ruling on the field as the ball didn't break the plane to the goal line.
All right, so that was one. Here's the other. So the Battlehawks had an opportunity late in this game to win, but San Antonio converted on a 2-point conversion. That gave them a lead. A 2-point conversion was ruled no good there, but they reviewed that and found that it was successful. So San Antonio did take the lead 14-13. I know it's not over yet. And you could talk forever about what happened here. So that was the call. Then they reverse it and they give them the lead. Then there's in the rule book, there's something called a super challenge where you can challenge again. And the challenge was Anthony Beck, the coach of the Battlehawks, was told that there may have been a lineman illegally downfield. So he threw the super challenge at him. They went, looked at it, and they found that that was indeed correct. There was a lineman downfield for San Antonio. That's illegal. And so they reversed that and took the 2 points off the board, and the Battlehawks led 13-12, and they won the game by that count. That is some big-time drama. The Battlehawks of the UFL are in business. They have home field throughout the playoffs. Conference championship on Sunday at 6, and the UFL championship on Father's Day if they can get there. Here's the actually, you know what? Let me play. Here's a little bit of explanation. This is Anthony Becht on that.
But time was there for us to look at it And, we were able to see it. Number 50 obviously was illegally downfield, and we were able to throw the challenge flag in that moment, and it was big.
Yes, it was. And
it is vital that St. Louis comes in droves. We need them. Bring one friend, and this place is full. That's kind of how easy it is.
Here he goes. Anthony Becht, who played for the St. Louis Rams, mind you, knows all about dome atmosphere and what it can do.
St. Louis fans, anybody that lives in the city of St. Louis needs to show up for this game, okay, next week, and hopefully the week after that. But let's start with the next week's game. Just incredibly blessed to have a fan base that cares as much as the St. Louis fan base does.
That is a guy who is going to rally. He's not done. He will be rallying all week long to get fans in there. This place will be absolutely roaring. The crowd was 34,379. They'd have to double that to fill the dome, but it is a monster crowd for the UFL. No one's even close. The spring football record they already set at 40,317 earlier this year. They've averaged about 34,300 throughout the year. Let's see how much they can fill that. They'll have double that at Worldwide Technology Raceway today. NASCAR Cup Series is coming at 2:30. Enjoy it, folks. This has been Sports on a Sunday Morning.
If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are two things that you want: certainty and the most money, right? This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, I am Jackie Brock, the wife of our beloved Lou Brock, St. Louis Cardinal legend and Hall of Famer. I have a new resident. I am so excited to tell you about Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles, Missouri. It is my new residence where I find everything for life and living. The staff is incredible, kind, warm, cordial, supportive, everything that you would want in an independent living community. The activities are innumerable, and we find the food the best in town. Call in today about the $99 move-in special.